With the 15th pick and with the 26th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat.
Welcome all my fellow Redskin brethren and sisters. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. Before I get to the topic at hand that I want to discuss, which is Dwayne Haskins and whether he should or shouldn't start week number 1 for the Washington Redskins, I wanted to go ahead and clean up a topic that just surfaced about a couple of days ago regarding Josh Doctson. The Redskins, much like every other team in the league, were up against a May 3rd deadline to figure out whether they wanted to extend the 5th-year option to a guy that they drafted in 2016 or not. The Redskins opted not to pick up the 5th-year option on wide receiver Josh Doctson, making the former first-round pick a guy that is pretty much in his last year as a Washington Redskin. Now, he could have a breakout year and the Redskins could want to negotiate with him after the season. That is very plausible. Highly unlikely, however. Generally, when teams don't opt into that 5th-year option, it tells you that there's writing on the wall that we don't want you here after your contract is up. So, in essence, Josh Doctson is in a contract season, and he's going to have to perform in order to stay in DC, but more likely than not, play somewhere else. If he has another lackluster season, he'll probably get an opportunity to play somewhere else, but it won't be for as much money. And so hopefully we're getting a very motivated 18 this season, and we get the best that he has to offer. I don't think he'll be back in DC after this season, but he'll be on the roster this year. I know there are some of you out there that think, hey, will Josh Doctson even make the team? We've got a number of receivers. Josh Doctson is going to be on this football team. Barring injury, he's going to be on this football team and one of the perceived key contributors going into 2019 at the receiver position. We've got abundance of talent at the position, but he's a part of the talent that's at that position. And I look for big things from Josh Doctson in 2019, but as I've said many a times, we know who Josh Doctson is as a football player. Maybe he'll be better served elsewhere. You know, maybe he'll be better off playing for a team like Dallas. Why do I throw out the Cowboys? They're closer to home. Remember, he was the guy that was homesick and left the school that he was going to come back to TCU so that he could be closer to home. We heard that when he was first drafted, that this is a guy that doesn't like to be away from home. Maybe he'll flourish and thrive in a system, in a situation that's a lot closer to home. I'm not saying, I'm just throwing stuff out there. Bottom line is, Josh Doctson's 5th-year option not picked up, and so this is it for him. This is it, the last year of Doctson. This is it. This is it. So hopefully we get the best of Josh Doctson in 2019. That being said, the reason I wanted to talk to you guys today is because I had a number of people hit me up on social media and pretty much say, bro, what do you want? Do you want Haskins to start week 1 or not? I'm confused. You said a lot, but I didn't understand where your position really was. And so I thought I made it abundantly clear where I stood on the Dwayne Haskins start week 1 or not start week 1 question. And so I went back and listened to my video, and I thought I said it clearly, but I could see how someone could be confused by what I said and how it could seem like I was talking in circles, a la Bruce Allen. And so I want to come here and make it clear my position on Dwayne Haskins and what I think the Redskins should or shouldn't do with him. So here's essentially what I'm saying about Dwayne Haskins. If Dwayne Haskins is ready week 1, if he outperforms Case Keenum and Colt McCoy or Colt McCoy, then I think you need, if it's close, put it this way, if it's even remotely close, they need to be head and shoulders above Dwayne Haskins. Like, it can't be right there where Haskins is close and we look at the preseason performances of Haskins and Colt and Case and we're saying to ourselves, doesn't look that much different to us. Whether he's playing against the second team defense or he's playing against the first team, it looks eerily similar to us. It can't be that close. Haskins has to look like he's a deer in headlights, like he's struggling, like the game and the speed of it is a little bit too much for him. He can't go out there and be shredding these NFL defenses in the offense and then expect us to just sit there and say, okay, well, Colt and Case deserve to start. If he's ready to go, if Jay Gruden And I fully believe that Jay isn't going to allow Dan and Bruce to sabotage this season because he realizes this is it for him. So if he thinks that Haskins can go, he's going to say as much. I really believe that Jay is going to put his foot down this year because we've seen Jay do it in the past. When it came to Robert Griffin III, he's like, look, this guy can't play. We got to start Kirk Cousins or we're going to lose. I think Jay is going to do that this year because he knows his neck is on the line. And if he thinks Haskins gives him the best chance to win, he's going to put Haskins in. If he thinks that guy is Colt and or Case, he's going to put Case in the game or Colt in the game. So I really think you're going to get an honest opinion, an honest assessment from Jay this year. And I think that Dan is going to take a step back. I really believe this, and I know some of you may think I'm crazy, but I think Dan is going to take a step back because of the way the RG3, the Robert Griffin III situation, was handled and how that spiraled out of control. I think he's going to take a step back and allow the football people, mainly Jay Gruden, to make the decision as to who starts. Now, again, there will be a short leash, I believe, in that if this team comes out 1-3, if this team comes out 1-4, 0-5 in those first 5 weeks, and we've talked about how the first 5 weeks of the season could be death row for the 2019 season for the Redskins. If they come out of the gate struggling, I think it could be a quick hook at the quarterback position if the quarterback isn't getting it done at a high enough clip. Now, if the Redskins are scoring 31 points a game, but the defense is surrendering 34 and we're losing, that's a different story. But if we're struggling offensively, which we all anticipate that could be the case if things don't go our way early, you could see a quick trigger where Dan steps in and says, all right, look, I gave you an opportunity with Case or Colt. Now I want to see my guy in there in Haskins. Bottom line is, I don't think he's going to win the job. So let me reiterate this. I want him to start week 1 if he is ready. If Jay Gruden thinks that this guy has enough of the playbook, enough command of the playbook and the terminology, and he's comfortable calling plays that suit Dwayne Haskins, and he thinks that this offense can flow efficiently with Haskins under center, then yes, put him in there. You can't learn on the sidelines. I've said this on my podcast a million times. I watched Brian Billick say the only thing that you can do as a quarterback, only thing you can learn as a quarterback on the sidelines is what's good at the concession and how to get to the stadium. That's the only thing you can learn by sitting on the sidelines. You can't learn anything else. You have to play in this league to get better. However, if you put a guy in too soon, you've seen in the past how that can destroy a player and his confidence. So there's a fine line and a balance you have to walk with these quarterbacks, especially that you don't throw them to the wolves and have them sacrificed too soon. You have to be able to figure out when is the right time. And that's all I'm stating, is that if he's ready week 1, if he beats out Case and Colt, and that's a very distinct possibility because it's Case Keenum and Colt McCoy. Keep in mind, all right? It's not like Alex Smith is here to start week 1. It's Case Keenum and Colt McCoy. So he can beat those guys out potentially. But if he is not the best quarterback or not even remotely close to being the best quarterback, then he shouldn't start. If he's not ready, I don't want him to start. And here's my position. I don't think he's going to be ready. I don't think he's going to be better than Case Keenum or Colt McCoy. I think those guys are going to be light years ahead of where Dwayne Haskins is going to be when we get to the preseason, and I think Jay Gruden is going to feel more comfortable with one of those guys starting week 1. And so by virtue of that, I think the week 1 starter is going to be Case Keenum or Colt McCoy. I really believe it's going to be Case Keenum because that's the guy Bruce traded for. That's the guy Bruce is going to want to start. And so I think I think that's the guy Jay is most comfortable with in terms of a guy that's going to stay healthy and run the offense. If Colt were healthy and Colt had another surgery, I'm hearing a third surgery this offseason, then I just don't know if Jay trusts Colt to stay healthy. That's been his issue the entire time. I think Colt is a guy that, if healthy, Jay would love it to have him in there. But I think Case Keenum is going to get an opportunity to start come week 1. I truly believe that. But if Dwayne Haskins is ready, I say you put him in there and give the young fella a chance to get his feet wet and see what he's made of. You never know what could happen. This league is crazy like that. We've seen rookies step in, have tremendous success, lead their team to the postseason. It's happened here before. So, again, I don't want you to think I don't want Haskins to start. That's not the case. I don't want him to start if he's not ready. So that's my position. Let me clearly state it once more. I want Haskins to start if he is ready to start. If he is close, He doesn't have to necessarily win a quarterback competition. If it is close, if it's neck and neck, then the advantage should go to Dwayne Haskins. He's the future, all right? But if Colt or Case are head and shoulders above him, light years ahead of him, then he needs to sit and wait until he's ready, and then you put him in. If this is a situation that these guys are right there with one another, or Haskins outperforms them, then put his ass in week 1 and let's see what he can do. All right, there's no reason for him to sit if he's ready to rock and roll. And my other position is that I don't think he's going to outperform those guys. I just don't. I think that he's going to come in. It's going to be a little bit faster. The speed of the game is going to be something he's going to have to adjust to. There's going to be nuances, terminology, him being in the huddle. That's something he didn't do at Ohio State. You look over the sideline, they've got boards and they've got pictures and they've got all kinds of nonsense. It's going to be a little bit of a transition for him. All right. And once he makes that transition and he gets comfortable, we've heard how tirelessly this guy works. So I expect him to try to make himself comfortable and really accommodate himself well and acclimate himself to this playbook and his teammates. I think he's going to do all of those things very quickly, but is it going to be quick enough to be ready to start week 1? I don't think so. However, if he's ready, I think he should start. So that's my stance. That's my position. I wanted to state it clearly because a lot of people were asking me how I felt about Haskins starting. And yes, he got Joe Theismann's number 7 jersey. I told you there's really no attachment for me, being that I'm a younger Redskins fan. I wasn't present for the glory days, and I know Joe Theismann won the first Super Bowl in Redskins franchise history versus the Miami Dolphins. And so I know there's a lot that goes into Joe Theismann and the number 7. And for those of you old enough to remember, there may be a place in Redskins lore for you with the 7 jersey and you don't want Haskins to wear it. If that's how you feel, I don't have a problem with that. Bottom line is, if Joe Theismann gives him his blessing, I just know this: Dwayne Haskins better not F it up. Okay, that's all I can say. If Theismann's going to give you the blessing to wear number 7, you better make him proud. You better not F it up. That's all I'm gonna say. End of discussion. The reason I don't have a problem with it is because Joe Theismann isn't in the Hall of Fame. His career got cut short. We all know about that. And so because I don't have an attachment and he's not in the Hall of Fame, like, I don't want any receiver coming and say, I want to wear 81. No, you can't wear 81. That's Art Monk's number. All right. And I'm actually old enough to have seen Art Monk in a Redskins uniform. Like, I got to see that. So I know what that looks like. Whereas with Joe, I didn't get to see that. So bottom line is, you get a chance to wear a historic Redskins number. Don't F this up, Haskins. That's all I'm going to say to you. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Redskins. Thank you for joining me, your man, Louie T, here on the Redskins Report. I'll see you guys next time. It could be a while. I'm not going to lie to you. It could be a while in any event. If something pops up, you know I'll pop up. But until then, see you guys next time. Have a good one.